Welcome, welcome, welcome. Five for Live. Mitch Taylor here, and for Midwest DJs Live 2020. And this Five for Live edition is sponsored by Promo Only. Want to thank Nick Hahn and the rest of our fine team at Promo Only for sponsoring our show. And today I have with me one of our keynotes, our Monday night keynote, Monday afternoon keynote, Todd Michaud. Thanks, Todd, for joining us here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's going to be fun.
Awesome to have you part of this Five for Live segment sponsored by Promo Only. So Todd, you're an IT professional. You've done big things in big business, but you've also had some failures along the way. And you gave me a quote once that really just hit me right between the eyes. And the quote was, "Entrepreneurs are the only people that understand what it's like to sell the parachutes for money to buy gas for the plane."
Yep.
Explain that for me.
Well, yeah, I appreciate. Hey, tell me about your biggest failures. Such a great topic to start with, right? But yeah. Hey, no, listen, in this world of being an entrepreneur, it's not all glamour, right? You're not always coming out on the winning side of equations. And, failures can range from, failures to launch. I probably have 10 businesses that I've somewhat started, right? Put time and effort and energy into that, never really got off the ground. Some idea that I thought could be a big thing, all the way to, a technology software company that I invested over $1 million in that I had to shut down and basically bury deep with a lot of emotional baggage with, and say, we'll just not talk about that. And, your hope is that when I was going through that exercise, you really just I kept telling myself, when they write the story of my life, this will be the best chapter, right? This will be when the hero gets the going gets tough. But when you're in it, it's hard to think of things like that, if that makes sense.
Totally. So the failures that you've had in business, you mentioned a time to me before in a conversation, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am to have you at Midwest DJs Live to share with us some of your biggest challenges and what you learned from them. But you mentioned going all in.
Right.
Is there a time you went all in, and what did you learn from that?
So January of 2017, I'm sitting in a cab in New York City, and it's in rush hour traffic, and I'm having a panic attack. It is about 2 years into a business, and revenue was coming in a lot slower than I ever imagined it would. Costs are, skyrocketing way more than I thought they would. And I am sitting there with exactly $60 to my name, and that's it. I've sold everything. I've liquidated all my assets. 401ks have been gone for a year, right? Sold everything that I had earned in all the years of being successful in business, to the point where I sold some stuff on Craigslist to some pretty people I didn't want in my house. Let's just put it that way, in order to have the money to even go to New York City. And I had $60 in my pocket, and the cab fare was at $50 and ticking. And I was at least 12 blocks away from where I needed to go. And I'm coming up with fake emergency phone calls where I can come up with an excuse that the cab driver won't think is weird that I'm getting out of his cab, and I'm going to have to hoof it through January weather in the middle of Manhattan to get to where I needed to go. But the fact was, in New York City that weekend was an investor who we had gotten to term sheet agreement with. We had said, hey, these are the terms we're going to invest with you. I had a business partner, a large multinational, multi-billion-dollar company that wanted to do a press release and a partnership that was going to be in New York City that weekend. I had a potential client that could have represented a huge amount of revenue that were all going to be there. And oh, by the way, one of the charity organizations that I had been supporting for the last 7 years were all in New York City that weekend. And I wasn't going to let something like not having enough money keep me from doing it. And crazy enough, I didn't even have a flight home. I had enough points to fly there, and I was going to figure it out. And so, but hashtag don't want to spoil the ending. It doesn't have a fairy tale ending to that story. When I talked earlier about having to bury one really deep down, that was it. And so when I talk about the quotes of sometimes you need to sell the parachutes to put gas in the planes, that's sometimes you got to do things like getting on an airplane without a way home, right? Sometimes you've got to understand that you're the only one who's really, bought into this concept, and you've got to do whatever it takes to take it over the finish line.
Awesome. And so Todd and I have been chatting as we build up to this as well here, and I'm excited at the other points he's going to bring to Midwest DJs Live here upcoming. Todd, as we wrap up here, if there's one piece of advice you could give any young entrepreneur in regards to entrepreneurship itself and tenacity,
Sure.
What would it be?
Well, I guess when the going gets tough, and it almost always does, human nature is to reach out to other people to see if you're doing the right thing. Hey, this isn't working out the way I thought it would. I'm not making as much money, or it's not coming as easily or as quickly as I thought. What do you think, some person in your life? And the fact that I've learned is that no one believes in your business like you. It's your idea. You're the one who's going to believe in it the most. No matter what, no matter who you ask, and no matter how much they may believe in your business, you're never going to get an answer that helps you feel good about your decision. Only you can really understand. You have to trust your gut, your instinct, your experience of whether or not you need to keep pushing or whether or not you need to back off. But when I first started doing this, I tried to seek the counsel of a lot of other people saying, hey, this person I really respect, do you think I should be doing this? And is this the right decision? And this the right move? And unfortunately, no one else is ever going to be able to answer that for you. So my advice to the would-be entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs out there struggling with that is, got to trust your gut. You've got to know when it's time to fold them and when it's time to just hit it hard. So I guess that'd be where I'd go with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd, for joining us here for this 5 for Live segment for Midwest DJs Live, sponsored by Promo Only. You can get your tickets right now at MidwestDJsLive.com. It's only $169 for your ticket to Midwest DJs Live this year. You could also text the word MKE 2020, the phrase MKE 2020, to 555-888. Visit MidwestDJsLive.com to see the complete presenter lineup. Thank you, Promo Only, again, for sponsoring this edition of 5 for Live. Todd, thank you so much for being here. Very much looking forward to welcoming you to Milwaukee and having you at Midwest DJs Live 2020.
I'm looking forward to it. And anybody watching, please stop by the seminar. I'd love to catch up and get to know what you're up to.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd.
Take care.